Alrighty, so this is my chemistry in action assignment. I will be discussing from a viewpoint of a um, biophysical physicist. That would be my career that I would be speaking from, and basically the work of a biophysical physicist is to um, approach methods with physics to study the biological systems, the environment, things like that. And specifically, I'll be talking about the chemistry that would be going into dealing with certain issues that are in the planet that could be fixed with chemistry. My subject is really I just want to help maintain a sustainable planet. And a very interesting topic that has been going around is how certain new technologies could help maintaining the environment and reducing those problems like global warming and you know um, the ozone depletion and all that. So that's what I'll be discussing here in my chemistry in action. So to start off, what is the problem with this planet's chemistry? What is going on? Okay, well, there's this thing. It's a sphere filled with colors of green and blue and billions of little creatures in it called humans. These creatures create machines to take them around in a faster, more efficient way. These are called cars, buses, trucks, boats, and airplanes. While getting from point A to point B, it often requires combustion of a fossil fuel, and this creates a toxic gas to be released in the atmosphere and the environment. Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is made of one single carbon and two oxygen particles. This, along with chlorine and bromine, can cause awful effects on the environment and as well as the atmosphere. Particles from both waste and gas could be deposited into the soil, specifically from carbon dioxide, and could cause, this is just like things that could happen in the environment. They could be deposited in soil and the surface of water and enter the food chain, and that can affect those animals and the food of humans. But more importantly, the ozone layer in the stratosphere that contains high amounts of ozone, which is O3, this ozone layer helps protect us from the sun's ultraviolet radiation. Without this ozone layer, the effects of the sun could be catastrophic. Human-made chemicals that contain chlorine and bromine can cause depletion of this ozone layer. Those found in cars, that would be found in cars, power plants, and factory emissions. So really, the main thing is that we're creating this toxicity in the planet. Obviously, there's some sort of natural ozone depletion, but we're just speeding it up drastically, and I'll tell you why. With those chemicals, like bromine and chlorine, when they come in contact with the ultraviolet radiation from the sun, bad ozone is created. And what is this bad ozone, you might ask? Well, there's a process to it. The CFCs, which are the chlorofluorocarbons, excuse me if I butchered that, but these are from all those things I listed, like from power plants, factory emissions, air conditioners, refrigerators, all those things will release CFCs, and these could be carried into the atmosphere by the wind. UV radiation makes contact at this point when it's up in the stratosphere, makes contact with the CFC molecule, and the chlorine atom detaches from the CFC molecule. Once the chlorine molecule reaches the ozone molecules, the effect is disastrous, because once the chlorine molecule can repeatedly take an oxygen molecule from the ozone molecule and form chlorine monoxide, where then the new oxygen would take the oxygen away from the chlorine monoxide and now become a single chlorine atom, again free to destroy the ozone. So this is just a repeating cycle. You have the chlorine coming from the CFC, ruining the ozone, taking oxygen away, and then an oxygen coming back and removing that and just leaving a free chlorine molecule. So this is just a repeating process that happens over and over and over again. It can, destroy thousands and thousands of ozone molecules that could really be disastrous on the atmosphere and the ozone layer that protects us, protects the radiation. And if nothing is done about it, the earth could really suffer, and we would, suffer along with it. But what can we do about it? We know there's a problem. We know we have too many CFCs. We release too much carbon dioxide into the environment, and other human-made chemicals going out to the environment have, severely negative effects on the Earth's environment. What can we do to stop it, or, are we too late? Well, as a biophysical physicist, theoretically, it'd be my job to figure that out. One thing that has already been done, though, is the Clean Air Act of 1970, which is, a huge thing. This resulted in the control on a national scale of air pollution and emissions of CFCs. But in theory, a worldwide effort to stop that reaction of ozone depletion could help to naturally reverse the destruction, because that's what we want. We want to reverse the ozone, all the ozone molecules that got lost. But this is a big topic in the world, and it's not something that's certain yet, which is what I'm going to discuss, the big, technology breakthrough that I was discussing. Yet in an article of a professor of mechanical engineering at the University of Illinois at Chicago, he talks about a pair of catalysts that could more efficiently turn carbon dioxide into carbon monoxide, which could be used for gasoline and other products. But how could this help the environment? Well, a piece of equipment used would require a leaf-inspired system that could absorb energy from the sun and use it to drive chemical reactions directly. In theory, this could be groundbreaking in depleting mass amounts of carbon dioxide into the environment, and instead use it for fuel. What can this do for the big problem? There's this huge, mass rallies for global warming. But what can this do for something like that? Well, there's clearly too much carbon dioxide being released by burning fossil fuels, cars, etc. With all the trees being cut down along with the mass amounts of carbon dioxide, there's an imbalance created, thus creating global warming as we know. Because these gases are trapped in our atmosphere, they have more time to collect heat from our atmosphere and the sun, thus making our climate increase in heat. This causes ice caps to melt and animals to be in unbearably hot climates. Although carbon dioxide is an indirect contributor of global warming, it is a great cause of global warming. But like I said, I was discussing the ozone earlier. How does it affect the ozone layer? Although carbon dioxide normally is good for the planet and good for the ozone layer, such an excess of it can cause problems, such as in the lower stratosphere, closest to the surface of the and close to the equator. Increased carbon dioxide is slowing the production of new ozone. So in balancing the carbon dioxide in the environment with this new technology, we could help to, double whammy in a way. We could balance both global warming and balance, in creation and helping the ozone to recover and to ultimately become a happier planet. And that's the goal, and that's my chemistry in action.